Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we're continuing our work here in Thavnair. We learned a little bit about the gods that are worshipped here, because those are what are being summoned, or, versions of them are being summoned by the tower. So learning about them should be helpful. So we got that information from Matsia. And then we headed over to the Great Work, which is where the alchemists are located that sent the initial request to the students of Baldessian and Kryl that brought us here in the first place. And upon arrival, we found everybody passed out on the ground, which was somewhat concerning. But shortly, Varshan, a Owry boy, showed up with a basket full of dragon scales, which seemed to perk everyone right up. Almost weirdly so. But, seems those dragon scales were given freely by a dragon, and they are a key ingredient in what they're trying to do, which is they are trying to create a talisman that is capable of resisting that is capable of resisting the effects of the tower to prevent tempering. So, they brought us here, and me specifically, or our character here, specifically, to provide a baseline, because of our Blessing of Light, to compare the talismans again. So they ran us through a bit of a test, just to see exactly how strong our blessing is and how much protection it provides, so they can compare their own talismans against that. Because if it provides the same level of protection that our blessing does, then they should, in theory, protect them against the tower. So that's kind of the plan. And yeah, we've been sitting here, or running through here, assisting with that project. So, we've been tasked with going to get some giant gall for the manufacture of more prototypes. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. I did go ahead and clear out all the side quests. So those are all done. I also got enough fates to get us to rank 2 in the shared fates, which unlocks the ability to get the riding map, which allows me to, move on the ground faster on a mount. So that should also be helpful. But we need to come over here and talk to Varshan, and we're going to be riding one of these Hamsa to where we need to go get that giant skull. So let's go ahead and have our chat here. Let them know that we're ready. Here are our Hamsa, Ayame. If the creatures look familiar, it's because they are close kin to your Eorzean dodos. Yes. Hamsa have long been kept as livestock in Thavnair, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant Host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost we set forth at your word. Alright, well, let's go. You're ready? Then let us depart. You need only ride and relax. My bird and I will take the lead for yours to follow. Alright, so we basically just are along for the ride. And that looks comfortable. Let's be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned that they have a wobbling gait. No kidding. That spectacular formation stretching out over the water is called Kada, which means sword. The sword legend holds was wielded by the Manusia against the Murga before it was cast down at conflict's end. Okay. To the left, and requiring no introduction, is a tower. As you can see, it straddles a small isle. Indeed. Almost there. The main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff. The outpost itself is on the beach. I guess that will be our outpost. Well, we made it. And here we are, manned by the Radiant Host. This outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. And there it is, up close and personal. Well, about as close as you'd like to get. Well, well, who should it be but young Varshan, on errand for the Satrap? I am. His Excellency bade me come to collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. They do have some interesting armor. We simply do our duty, but we are honored to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet, for his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these past few days, this remains the front line of battle, no place for children. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, what, 2 years now since you took over? Wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went to represent the Satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may now be, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly. I pray you not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the Satrap is unwavering, but still I worry for you. You will be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you, for you are as a little brother to us all. Take care, do you hear? I will, Nabdeen. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Hanish by the look of her. Though I am Rayan Alra, like the Alra that live here, though. Permit me to introduce the Yamyatsurugi of the Eorzean contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. Though we're more kind of named in the fashion of the Alra that live in Authard. From Eorzea, you say? Towers have appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what is the situation like? May I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea. Given the unprecedented nature of the threat, some of ours are understandably anxious. We would be glad for any tidings you can share. You two, bring Varshan the latest report and answer any questions he may have. Alright, I guess we'll talk with Mhudi here first. Oh, I've heard about you, the visitor from Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Talafaroi? We know that they're the ones behind the tower and that they've declared war on the whole world. Pretty much. But why are they doing this? What is it that they want? This we don't understand. What, they want to die and take everyone with them? What madness is this? Well, you can bet we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight them with everything we have, like our Eorzean and Far Eastern brothers. Oh, good on you. Right. Utiyu? Utiyu. Yeah. The Alra here have a, I guess, a Hanish naming convention as opposed to the ones that live in Authored. Particular in... I'm blanking on the name. The underground settlement. Not the underground. The underwater settlement. Yeah, I forget. Oh well. Alright. To you. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zont, as folks have taken to calling it, suddenly appeared where it did on the Isle of Noroner. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Well, not much different, actually. Our struggles are not unique. Then our hopes still lie with the talismans. We must keep the monsters contained until they're ready. Yeah, pretty much only a limited subset of individuals are capable of even approaching the things. And one such got severely injured for his trouble. Alright, Nabdeen. It occurs to me I have yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats such as now. We train hard and admit only capable warriors to our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on 2 occasions, they came in force. On the 2 occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. What are the towers in Eorzea? Do they likewise spawn monsters? Oh yeah, they spawn monsters. But it's much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. Not at the moment. That's why we're here. Alright, Varshad. Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hub both, Razdat Han ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream dried up when trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand, as mine will keep me here a while longer. However, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not. The path is straightforward. You need but follow the road east upon the Hamsa. Upon the Hamsa, you will arrive before you know it. A brief though it was. I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. And they're gonna force me to ride the Hamsa again. Alrighty then. Although the Hamsa appears to want to return home, it reluctantly offers you its back. Should you become separated from your steed, speak with the Radiant B. Okay. Alright, well, I guess we're mounting up and we're in control this time. But yes, we just follow the road east, and that should take us where we want to go. Alright, well, I guess I will go ahead and pause here, and I'll be back once we're in the vicinity. Alright, we are approaching where we need to be, and these appear to be the quarry. This appears to be the quarry, where we need to get what we need. Alright then. Oh, you... I actually had to ride the thing into the circle. Okay, fine. Very well. Just a moment. Okay. Second time. There we go. No sooner do you arrive at your destination than the Hamza dashes off. You know, I did have a perfectly good mount myself. So, whatever. Ooh. Ether current. Need to go grab that. Alright. Zenuha. Zenuha? Alright, this is indeed the Giant Skull grounds, and I am Zenuha. Is there something you require? Require some Giant Skull. Giant Skull for the alchemists, you say? But of course, they shall have it. They labor tirelessly to deal with the tower, and 'tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Alright, excellent. Here you are, a sack of the purest Giant Skull. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. Yeah, the Giant Skull is the purple rock. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the Great Work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. Because you can actually find, like, Giant Skull weapons in the game, and they have that purple hue to them. All right. There we go. Now we can just teleport ourselves back to the Great Work and hand this over. And there appears to be a few more side quests, which I will take care of on my own, of course. Alright, Nidana, you got what you wanted. Ah, welcome back, Ayame. Do I hope you have the Giant Skull? Indeed I do. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype, one that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it is ready, it will be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can. Alright, so we're going to just go hang out for a bit.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well.
Yep. Just enjoying the sights and sounds and most certainly smells.
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
So it would seem.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
What did they put you through, Estinian?
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Heavy stuff.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, If it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts?
Not many, I think.
There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
I believe there's some experience talking there.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
Well, hello there. And we just run straight after him. Yeah,
What is
he's
it?
an Asian.
What did you see?
He can just poof out whenever he wants.
Fandaniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
Oh, he knows. Whether he's going to do anything about it is another question entirely.
It holds. The vessel holds. This is the...
Oops.
At long last!
Well, it seems they've made their breakthrough.
Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Nice.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field.
Right, because functionality in controlled tests is one thing. Live, putting it actual in a live situation, entirely different, or can be entirely different.
It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Right. Because if you're going to test the thing, you need someone who isn't going to become corrupted there to deal with the mess if things go sideways. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
Alright. I'm gonna go put this thing to the test. So, on my own mount this time, let's head north along the beach. And we're gonna head along the beach. But yeah. Well, not as... I've never had, you know, experienced, like, the kind of despair they're talking about where you want to just destroy everything and, you know, go down and take everyone else with you. I've kind of experienced those urges sometimes when, you know, if I'm gonna go down, yeah, you're coming with me, or, you know, I'm gonna cause as much havoc as I can. For no other reason than you're just pissed. Or fed up. Alright, Nadana. This is a rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. Okay. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. I think, you know, we could probably just disable. That shouldn't be too difficult. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. Head to the Tower of Zot with Nadana. Alright, let's do this.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence.
It
Any moment now.
seems to be doing something.
It's working!
So it would seem.
And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Yeah, we're fine.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance.
Uh,
A few more steps. Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be.
Alright, well, let's get out of here.
Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets. What?
Oh boy. Yeah, we really needed to get out of there.
Ah!
Because you're exactly the type of person they want to abduct, and we just walked right up to their front door. And we just went charging straight in. No hesitation. There's a lot of them in here.
Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
Well, that ain't good.
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid.
Not too late to put a bullet between your eyes.
The similarities are striking.
Oh?
My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Patrons of old?
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian.
Alright. If you're willing to give up some info, I'll take it.
I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking.
Yes.
Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes?
One or two, yes.
Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
At your service.
Ammon.
Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met, day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace, existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments?
This looks like the inside of the Etherochemical Research Facility. Or something similar. Yeah, Ammon was, I guess, like the chief researcher of Alag at some point. I believe, from the story of the Crystal Tower, he's the one who resurrected Emperor Zande and was also responsible for the fourth Umbral Calamity, I think. And we fought one of his clones in the Crystal Tower. I think he's also the one who developed the cloning technology. So yeah, kind of a big deal.
That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing.
Ew.
Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
So yeah, you found replacing a man's head, and when he panicked, you found that just terribly amusing. Lovely.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation, slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor.
Right. Zande.
And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An
Yeah.
inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon.
Definitely the Etherochemical Research Facility in Azis Law.
No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
Yes, and so he ended up opening a portal to the Void, which is the 13th shard, and made a pact with a massive Void Scent to destroy everything.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war, and so I have come to claim you.
Oh, hey, Emmett.
For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself.
Apparently he did, because we killed that clone.
See what lies ahead.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic. as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell.
All right.
As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals.
All right, so that means that they're not dead. They're just tempered. So it could be possible to rescue them.
If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades.
We'll get it sorted.
We shall meet again! Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see you.
Alright, well, nothing more we can do here. So, fall back and reassess. Alright. Guess we'll provide our report. Ah, you are returned, but where is Mistress Nadana? Well, about that. Minutia Preserve. Just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. Alright. Back to the great work it is. Actually, teleporting is going to be faster. Alright, Thancred, what do you have to say? Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. But I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. Yeah, there was nothing we were going to be able to do by ourselves in there. We must tread warily lest we endanger Nadana and the other captives. Alright. The Satrap of Raz.Hat. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nadana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Alright, well, we'll give them the rundown. Oh, Nadana. Can you answer me this? Though Nadana was trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Yes, she's still alive. Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nadana proved at peril to herself. Let us make more scales that she and all those who were taken might be saved. Alright, so we can actually send a fully equipped force into there. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. My friends, the Satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nadana noted your vital contributions to the talisman's creation. This fact came to the Satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Razdat Han for an audience with His Excellency? Alright, well, sounds like a plan. We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates east of the Giant Skull grounds, and I will show you into the city. Alright, so to the gates east of the Giant Skull grounds. Which is going to be a bit of a ride, so I will be back once we are there. Alright, I believe those are the gates. Indeed. Sacred. Of the Satrap, I only know the common tidbits that though the position is hereditary, he is not considered a sovereign, and that despite possessing considerable authority, he wields it sparingly. Given the esteem in which the locals hold him, however, it's safe to assume he's good at his job. We could do far worse for an ally. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting position. He's more of like an arbitrator than anything else. Eorzea? Be it here or in Eorzea, all share in the desire to deliver the captives. Thus united, I pray that we may join in common cause with the Satrap. An Estidian? When last I visited, the city was brimming with life. I expect the tower has dampened the mood somewhat. Yes, almost certainly. Alright, Varshan? All present? Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times. So the whole city's on lockdown, huh? Sounds familiar.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Razdat Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets.
But not at the moment, I would guess. Nope.
But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are. Megaduta. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid.
Hello, His Excellency.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, Satrap of Radzatan.
I have one.
Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Well, not everything went to plan.
I assume you speak of Nidana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not.
Stibian?
This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
I don't think that's what he's on about.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me.
Well, there's the dragon.
Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Yes.
I, mine elder brothers, of Midgard Sorma's spawn, I was last to hatch.
Ah, so you're the youngest.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with the dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the Satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively.
I'm guessing that back here are the doors by which he gets in and out of the place.
In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive were the Aura. Adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, They too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict.
Sounds similar to what Tiamat and Bahamut did in Mericidia.
A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radz Athan.
But if Vitra is still here, then your position as Satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the Great Worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end.
Probably why the Alligans didn't come here, but rather went to Mericidia to capture Tiamat. And the summon, well, to kill Bahamut, capture Tiamat, which led to the primal Bahamut being summoned and all that going down.
I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
But we don't know, actually, the time frames. So it may have been after the fall of the Alligan Empire that everybody started showing up. Because that was several thousand years prior to this.
Your eye. It was taken.
Oh?
"'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh."
Ah. I felt there was something odd about the kid.
"The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razatan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will."
Ah. That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
"I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered, Estinian warm blood."
Well, Vitra knows who you are and what you've done.
"From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now."
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radz Athan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Right, you can't just swarm it, so you're gonna have to send in some elite troops. I'm guessing he's decided which elite troops he's gonna send in.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Padalthan and Cartanau, I am told.
And you are well informed.
'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear.
Yeah, we kind of do eat primals for breakfast at this point, so, it would make sense that you'd want to hire us.
Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales.
Indeed.
I worry, however, that even the 4 of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Raadzathan, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Yep. Estinian's just like, well, we know what needs to be done, so let's go do it. No need to stick around here for longer than we have to. Alright. Eorzea. Then we should encounter one of the first brood in such a circumstance. Indeed. And Estinian. The course of action is decided. Let's not tarry. Yeah. He just wants to get it done. Alright, Thancred. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let's rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the ether here before departing, unless you enjoy violent nausea. Oh, I've attuned. Alright. So, we now need to head back to Sharlayan and report in what has happened. But I think this is a good spot to go ahead and stop. And I'm going to take care of those side quests. And when we come back, we'll be in Sharlayan and planning the next phase of our operations. So, for now, stop here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.